In this Jurassic battle, we're going to be looking at the first released Need for Speed game versus the last Need for Speed game on the PlayStation 3, with Carbon being released November 16th, 2006 and Rivals November 19th, 2013. Now that's 7 years apart, which is a ton of time in video game development, so you better hope we see some improvements. Let's begin with the game features. Need for Speed Carbon was developed by EA Black Box and published by Electronic Arts. The story of Carbon takes place after the events of Most Wanted, a fan favorite. Carbon does introduce a ton of new features though, including Cruise, which will help you out during races, and greater customization options. You get your body kits, tires, paints, and auto sculpting option to really make the cars your own. A fantastic feature. You have 11 events to choose from and just over 90 cars to race with. Need for Speed Rivals was developed in collaboration between Ghost Games and Criterion Games and published by Electronic Arts. Although this is a newer Need for Speed game, the creators of this title wanted to go back to earlier games in the franchise such as Most Wanted and have the gameplay be similar to that. In Rivals, you can play as a cop or a racer, which is always a great option to offer. In this game, you don't get as many events to choose from. You only get 5 actually, versus the 11 you got on Carbon. Another thing you get less of is the amount of cars to choose from. There's only 47 different vehicles, about half of what is offered in Carbon. Some amazing features offered in Rivals is the all-drive mode, which allows players to participate in co-op or multiplayer versus events with up to 5 players without having to leave a single player event. It allows you to seamlessly join each other during gameplay. Now that's pretty freaking awesome. A small feature, but a feature I always love, is dynamic weather, and Rivals has it. In a moment's notice, the weather could change on you, and this in turn will make each race's difficulty alter. One last thing is that Rivals has a free camera you can control with the right joystick, and I really liked looking around my car. All in all, I'd say Carbon offers better game features. Unless you just want to play online, then Rivals is for you, as Carbon servers are shut down. Time to discuss the graphics. Carbon has some of the best graphics I've ever seen in a racing game, but that's due to the awesome lit city and the night sky. I love the way the city looks and how all the lights reflect onto the cars. Another great feature with an all-night game is that the darker colors hides a lot of the bad aliasing that is on these PS3 games. When looking at Rivals, which is during the day mostly, you can see a ton more aliasing. Overall, Rivals does have better graphics though, I will admit that, especially in the cars' designs. They have more polygons and interact with the environment a lot more, such as car damage and getting dirty. Rivals has some awesome car damage effects, and when driving in the dirt, it gets all over the car. When steering your vehicle in Rivals, you can also see your driver turning the wheel, and when going in reverse, you see him look back. You don't get either of this in Carbon. Texture quality in both games feels about the same, but overall graphics just look better on Rivals. The game just feels and looks more realistic. The winner for me here is Rivals. Moving on to the frame rate. Carbon is generally a rock solid 30 frames with some 40s and dips here and there, all while playing at 720p resolutions. In Rivals, you are locked at 30 frames with very few dips and also playing at 720p resolutions. This one here is really just a tie. Moving on to the gameplay now. Both games are set in an open world city with destructible environments. Rivals offers more destruction, I'd say, but still, they're both there. In Carbon, the story has you racing against other racing crews to take over their territories instead of racing individual cars, which is pretty fun. In Rivals, you get weapons to help you in races versus Carbon's crew members that assist you. In Rivals, you get EMPs, shockwaves, spike strips, and the ability to call in roadblocks. This Mario Kart mechanic is a pretty fun addition, I must admit. Rivals also offers 2 different campaigns, that is the cops and the racers, but that doesn't really offer twice as long gameplay. In fact, the 2 games are nearly the same game length, with Rivals being around 13 hours and Carbon around 12 hours. The gameplay in both are extremely fun, but there's just more to do in Carbon, and because of that, Carbon wins the gameplay. What's pretty funny is that Need for Speed Carbon on the PlayStation 3 is the better next-gen version versus the PS2, GameCube, Wii, and Xbox ports, where Rivals on PS3 is the lower tier version, as this is also on PS4 and Xbox One. In my opinion, Need for Speed Carbon is the better game, but not by miles or anything. I love the way Rivals looks, and it just feels and seems more real to me, but playing in the neon lit city with all those car options, customizations, and more events to play through is clearly the better option. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and thanks for watching, and please do subscribe and leave a like. Thanks again, and see you later.